Ladies and gents, it's been a few hours since the gameplay trailer has finally released, and I kind of finally was able to sit down and have a look at it myself in a more glorious way than a phone screen. And I have to say that this game looks simply nothing else than phenomenal. Like, the amount of detail and just the way the world looks and all that stuff, it is just simply crazy. But what I want to go over is some of the interesting things that I kind of wanted to point out in the trailer. There's not a whole lot in there for me to really pinpoint and all that stuff. So if you want to see the trailer by itself, which is again a very good job at explaining everything and basically saying the exact same stuff as all the previews have done, but then in a more PR kind of way and in a more like a trailer kind of way. Link is always in the description down below. Definitely give the trailer a watch in 4K because it looks absolutely stunning. But with that said and done, I wanted to kind of go over a few interesting things that I have noticed. The start of the trailer obviously with the little train scene, but I primarily want to start focusing a little bit on the radar so we can kind of see what kind of things we can expect back or what we can expect to find in our world. If you look on the radar, you can see that your horse will have its own icon, and it seems to be following Arthur as he is going on at the train and doing his business. Then on the left you can see a icon that you had in Red Dead Redemption 1 where you could hand over pardon letters or pay off your bounty. So that's a thing that's obviously back as well. And then there's a little envelope thing. For what I assume that's probably like a post office kind of thing. I'm not all too sure about it, but it's obviously something that you can interact with. Speaking of things to interact with, in the trailer they say that you can also rob stagecoaches and stuff like that. For what I can see about the radar is that actually shows up on your map as well. It makes me think that while Rockstar is definitely going for the immersive kind of route, they still want to give you that radar that tells you what is what, which I personally obviously find very important. And then also a quick thing, it is a nice scene which goes from regular gameplay directly into a cutscene as well, which is very nicely done. You can see on the radar the icon for what looks to me like it's going to be the new Strangers missions, because this also seems to me like it's very much a Strangers kind of mission, to people obviously arguing and fighting, which is inevitably going to be turning into a cutscene we're all going to remember and or laugh about, because these two seems like quite the interesting characters and they kind of look like they escaped from prison. Then moving on from radars, another thing that I found interesting as well is that you can obviously also rob other people's houses. But if you look on the bed, you can see that the man of the house is still sleeping in his bed as you're robbing the place, which will result into some flashbacks that you might get from a certain mission in GTA San Andreas, which I personally got, and I think would probably result in some very interesting situations if you're not careful enough. Because I feel that if you get busted, things might go south really badly if you have a person that knows how to use a gun and or is maybe even an officer of the law or anything like that. That is some of the more interesting things that is probably going to happen within Red Dead Redemption 2, because whatever you do, there's always danger around the corner, as they also say inside of the trailer as well. So very interesting to see how everything is going to pan out and what choices you're going to make and how they are going to affect the game as well, because they definitely gave a very big emphasis on that too. You can be a good Arthur or you can be a bad Arthur. Either way, you're going to have a completely different experience. So multiple playthroughs are definitely worth it, because then you can approach certain things in different ways as well, which to me sounds very interesting, because you can go for like a good Arthur playthrough and a bad Arthur playthrough. The possibilities are endless, so everyone is going to have a completely different kind of playthrough, and it's going to be very interesting to see all the, obviously people are going to share it on social media, so everyone's going to have a really different experience, and that just really excites me to see. And I quickly kind of want to show you two screenshots of how detailed the city is, for example, and how much draw distance there is inside of this trailer. It's undoubtedly captured on PS4 Pro, but still, it looks simply stunning. Then going over to the Deadeye section of the trailer, where you can target vital organs as well, and if you look a little bit closer, you can see they can also shoot a man in the dick, which is going to be fantastic, alright? Red Dead Redemption 2, horse balls and shooting man in the dick. It's fantastic, alright? Game of the year 2018, calling it now. Also, a very cool thing as well is that it's not going to be only dual revolvers. Apparently, you can also hold a revolver and a sawed-off shotgun at the same time as well, which could be quite useful actually, but also is just badass in general. Another thing that I wanted to touch on and give you a closer look to is the gore inside of the game. If you look at this screenshot right here, ironically enough, it says "Help wanted, ask inside." This is probably the owner that is now looking for a replacement, because he's dead. But duels are back as well, if you haven't noticed that in the trailer too. So you can definitely see that they took a lot of stuff from Max Payne, you know, with that kind of gore. Especially this scene right here, which is slowed down. You can definitely see that there has been a lot of attention to making it be very believable as well. Then moving on to Arthur in the mountains, the main reason I wanted to point this out is because of the differences in stuff that he has on him. The different kinds of animals and leather and whatnot that he has on him makes me to believe that the hunting is going to be a very big part within the game, and basically that way you're going to be able to customize your Arthur the way you would want to. You could decide to go for some leather or anything like that. It'll be very interesting to see how in-depth that is going to be. I mean, knowing Rockstar and the stuff that we have heard, you can craft all your own stuff, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that is going to pan out, and I'm looking forward to go out hunting to get myself like a bigger bag or anything like that. It's one of the things I always like to do when I start a Far Cry game, for example. I always like to go hunting and, you know, make my character a lot better before I even start with, you know, the more serious story missions as well. So hopefully Red Dead Redemption 2 allows you to do that as well. But then last but most certainly not least is this very nice little nod to the cover art of Red Dead Redemption, where Arthur does a striking pose, which many of you, I'm sure, will recognize as well. Of course, a nice little nod to John Marston's cover of Red Dead Redemption as well. But anyway, that was it for this trailer breakdown slash thoughts slash whatever you want to call this. It's going to be 25 very long and painful days, and I hope that very soon we're going to hear some more about Red Dead Online, because they didn't mention anything about a part 3 of the gameplay trailer, nor did they about a potential gameplay trailer for Red Dead Online. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle that one, but I guess time will tell. 25 days to go. It's going to be a very long 25 days, but it will be worth the wait, because this game looks simply stunning. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.